And to have the people of the country deciding to deal with matters in their own hand, that too is a problem. It shows that the people of South Africa are frustrated with the government, not even with the people. It's the government they're frustrated with. It might seem like a small matter, but this xenophobic and xenophobic thing is a recurring segment in South Africa. After every 2-3 years, it's gonna rise again. This much people will not approach a white man and tell him to leave the country because they fear the white man. But they are going to approach a black man and tell him to leave the country. As a black man, I am more likely to cause physical harm to you than a white man. A white man is more likely to take you to court. But as a black man, I will cause you pain at that moment. That is why when you apply for jobs, you send in CVs. Can you do the job? It's not a question of whether you're available or not. It's a question of can you deliver?
Raw conversations with Herald Kavuala, where truth is spoken boldly, minds are challenged, and legacy is built.
Welcome back to Raw Conversations with me, Herald Kavuala. Today I'm tackling one of the most diverse and emotional topics in South Africa right now, and that is immigration. It's a question of who belongs here, who doesn't belong here, what's the difference between an illegal and a legal immigrant? Can South Africa remain African while still protecting its borders? Those are one of the many questions I've been asking myself throughout this entire time as things that has been unfolding in South Africa. And a lot has been unfolding in South Africa. A lot regarding this whole foreign national thing, regarding this whole immigration, regarding this whole thing of tightening up the borders and getting rid of all the illegal immigrants. It's honestly a crazy time to be in South Africa and to be a foreigner in South Africa. But perhaps there is a bigger question to all this madness that's going on, and that is, are South Africans angry at foreigners, or are they angry at the government that has failed to manage immigration properly? Because sincerely, the issue isn't the foreigners. The issue is the foreign policies and the immigration laws and so on and so forth, border control. That is the issue right now. It's not the foreign nationals. It's the government not being able to deliver on what they've promised regarding foreign immigration. So throughout this episode, I'm going to play out a few videos. I think, about 4 videos that I'm going to show. And all these videos are pertaining to South Africans themselves and them expressing their views and their opinions on this matter. And obviously, with each and every single video, I'm going to share my perspective. I'm going to share my points of view. I'm going to share what I think. And at the end of the day, we're going to come to some sort of conclusion as to what exactly is a problem with South Africa. Is it the foreign nationals, or is it the government failing the people? Anyways, I already know what the answer is to this. But let me start off with the first video. And this is a former president. And to be quite honest, I was young during that time, that's for sure. But doing my research, I realized that Thabo Mbeki was one of the best presidents South Africa had in terms of when he was in power, the economy did really well. He obviously had his own issues. Every single president that's in power has their own personal issues. But the economy was in good hands during the time and the reign of former President Thabo Mbeki. So now I'm going to play his video and what he has to say regarding illegal immigration in South Africa. And then I'm going to share my views for that.
The Africans will continue to come to South Africa. Doesn't matter what you do. You can't change the hearts and the minds of this African. It's a particular frame of mind with regard to South Africa which they help to liberate. What we as South Africans have got to do is to say, how do we deal with this? You are not going to solve the problem of unemployment here by shouting against undocumented Africans. And leave the culprits. The culprits are sitting here. I can even tell you their names. But we're pointing fingers at the wrong people, and people are shouting.
One thing I sincerely like about what former President Thabo Mbeki said is, as the mindset of the people, it's a mindset that they need to liberate. Remember, freedom starts in the mind. Freedom does not start anywhere else but the mind. As long as you believe that you will not succeed because someone else is living in your country, you definitely will not succeed. Success comes from thriving under pressure, thriving under... It's like, look, the most typical of examples we can look at is when you plant a seed in the ground. That thing will grow, and that seed will burst forth from the ground and come up, seeking light. So it doesn't matter the surroundings around you. All the surrounding will do is, in a way, shape and form you. But the success is still dependent on you. Do you put in the time? Do you put in the work? Do you put in the effort? Do you do your research? Do you sacrifice? As long as you do not do any of these things, you will not succeed. Look what's happening right now in, I think it's Cape Town, and them firing a lot of foreign nationals and closing down their stores. And there's one video I watched. There's one video, I don't think I have it, but there's one video I watched where they were trying to close down this other foreign national store, Nigerian man. And he was saying, what about the South Africans that I've employed? Because I only own the store, but I do not work in the store. It's the South Africans that work in the store. So if I close the store, what happens to the South African? And the very South Africans were like, we don't care. Close the store. That already tells you the problem is the mind. Because now, how are you saying you are taking your jobs, and yet the foreign nationals are creating jobs for you that you now want to close because you owns it? Where is the logic in that, or where is the sense in that? You are the one that's making the money. All I did was give you the opportunity to make the money. Not all of us are meant to be business owners. Not all of us are meant to start businesses. Some of us are simply workers. Not every single person is a visionary. There are people that are just created to support the vision of another man. That's just the realities of life. So that video really perplexed me, because you are closing a store that's providing a livelihood for the nationals that you claim to be fighting for. But because it is owned by a Nigerian, you want to close that store. How does that make sense? The Nigerian man even said in that video, oh my God, I hope I can find it. He even said in that video that if you can give me South African, if you can find me a South African that can run this company, I will resign and I will hand it over to him. And they couldn't find one. How does that make sense? This is what proves when Thabo Mbeki says that the problem is the mindset of the people. You think that by kicking out foreign nationals and having empty stores gives you the job. It doesn't give you the job. You still need skills to run the job. You still need to know what you are doing in order to have the job. That is why when you apply for jobs, you send in CVs. Can you do the job? It's not a question of whether you're available or not. It's a question of, can you deliver? That's the problem with South Africans. We want everything to be, I say we because I identify as one, but we just want everything to be handed down to us. It doesn't make sense. We need to work for those things. That's the same thing that man said. I keep forgetting his name. Vusi or something like that. Forgive me if the name is wrong. But I was like, no, the South African GDP is so big that the South Africa can afford to give each and every single South African 1 million rand for the rest of their lives. Why do you want money given to you? Why not work for that money? Why not say, this is my money. The government did not help me make this money. I made this money. All these business owners are not dependent on governments. These are all independent business owners that did it by themselves without the aid of the government. Imagine someone leaving his country, flying over South Africa with nothing, starting from zero and establishing a company. Do you think that was easy for him in a foreign land? It wasn't easy for him. But he put in the effort, the time, the energy, the resources to get that company running. And that's the mindset South Africans are lacking. They're so used to things being handed to them. Let's go now to the second video. There's so much I can say because, like I said, it's a very emotional topic. It's a very emotional topic because it doesn't make sense that you'd want to remove the very same people that are actually helping South Africans. It really doesn't. Not everyone is meant to start a business. These very same people that are fighting to chase South Africans don't even have jobs. One of them is in court. And he was telling I was watching the video today, I was telling the judge that I couldn't afford a lawyer because I don't have a job. But yet you are chasing the foreign nationals that are actually creating jobs for you. Make that make sense. You know what? Let's look at now, second video, and see what Julius Malema has to say. I know he's not one of the favorites in South Africa because Julius Malema is a wild card. He's a wild card indeed, but let's look at what he has to say because he had a different approach from what Thabo Mbeki had to say. And then he speaks regarding the African unity, how we need to unite Africans, something I spoke on my previous episode. That as Africans, we should be standing together as one and not treating each other as outsiders. We shouldn't be treating each other as outsiders. We should be helping each other. Me coming to another country as a foreign national, starting a job, and employing the nationals in the country, that's us working together as one. Like I said in the previous video, why is it that my success makes you envious and jealous of it? My success is your success. It may not be on the same level, it may not be on the same degree, it may not be to the same extent, but we're both succeeding.
We've seen anti-immigration marches across South Africa, even here in downtown Johannesburg. What do you make of them?
It's clownish, stupid. There is no xenophobia in South Africa. It's just a group of charlatans, extortionists, disruptors, corrupt individuals who want to extort the foreign nationals.
But is that not xenophobia targeting African foreign nationals?
That's why it's not xenophobia. It's gangsterism. It's sponsored by government. The government is fully involved to distract our people from major issues. How can an ordinary person manhandle a man in front of the police?
So Julius Malema says it's not xenophobia, it's gangsterism. But to be quite honest, it's simply Afrophobia. And I've been saying it and I keep saying it. We are not wrestling against xenophobia because xenophobia is a hatred against foreigners. But what we are dealing with here is not a hatred against foreigners, but a hatred against black people. Black on black people hate one another. That's Afrophobia. With the mixture of gangsterism. Because now, these much people are becoming physical. Like I said, how are you, as a person, individual, able to physically assault another man in front of the police and the police does nothing about it? That's gangsterism. The government is involved and yet the government will not admit to it. His entire belief is just that Africa belongs to Africa. And Malema is one person who always, if there's one thing I do like about Malema is this regard in terms of foreign nationals. He might not like the white people, but he definitely likes black people. And that's what we need to get across here. We should not be fighting each other as black people. And I'm not saying fight the white man, but I'm saying that we shouldn't fight each other as black people. Why do we have so much reverence and so much respect for the white man, and yet we cannot even show the most little and the most distant of acceptance for one another as black people? Why can we not accept each other as black people. And yet we reverence white people. I personally have nothing against the white man, but that's a reality that we're having as black people. This much people will not approach a white man and tell him to leave the country because they fear the white man. But they are going to approach a black man and tell him to leave the country. Why? As a black man, I am more likely to cause physical harm to you than a white man. A white man is more likely to take you to court. But as a black man, I will cause you pain at that moment. The Malawans, I think it's the Malawans that started revolting against the March people in Cape Town. I think so. I think it's Cape Town or Durban, I'm not sure. But the Malawans started revolting. And they started protesting back and said, you cannot kick us out of South Africa. We are here legally. This entire movement went from getting rid of illegal immigrants to getting rid of all foreign nationals. Very, very weird transition. And in the midst of it all, the president obviously made address the nation regarding this issue. And he says that no, the people should not take matters into their own hands and leave it to the government, and how they are now going to tighten immigration laws and start getting rid of all the illegal foreign nationals and so on and so forth. And yes, there are some activities that's taking place on the government side, but the damage has been done. But again, that's what Malema says, that the government is involved. They have done what they wanted to do, what the initial plan was, and now they want to come and look good and be like, oh no, we just want the illegal immigrants out. But they've already caused the chaos, they've already caused the damage. They're already happy. The results that they wanted have already been achieved. Now it's just to dust everything down and make everything seem as though, hey, this was not them, this was not the end goal. The end goal is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. It's not good for us Africans to live like this. It's really not good for us Africans. It might seem like a small matter, but this xenophobic and xenophobic thing is a recurring segment in South Africa. After every 2-3 years, it's going to rise again. After every 2-3 years, it's going to rise again. Now, we might seem as though, no, it's only South Africa, but other countries are going to be fed up and they're going to start retaliating. Ghana is retaliating. Nigeria is retaliating. Look at the World Cup. We refused to support South Africa against Mexico. All Africans refused because of what's happening in Africa. All the other countries, all the other African countries are taking notes. And I believe South Africa is not a place to visit because the nationals there are not friendly. I had someone in my comment section for the previous episode, and he was like, no, buddy, Africans are nice people. I was in Nigeria, and they treated me warm, and they made me feel comfortable, and I'm Indian. And I told him, listen, black people don't have an issue with other people, other races. We have no issue with them. We have issues with each other as black on black people. That's the problem. With the other races, we are nice, we are kind. Hey man, if the American comes over, hey, how are you? If the Asians come over, hey, how are you? But as soon as another person from Senegal, Malawi, Uganda comes to South Africa, it's like, no. You are crowding our country, here, take our jobs. I'm going to play a video now of some South Africans. And this is also just to cover the other side of the news, because it's not all South Africa that's like this. I know the headlines always, oh no, South Africa, this, South Africa, and that. And yes, that is the major issue, the fact that it keeps recurring, but there are those who are not for it. I was telling one of my friends, he's been on the platform before, and he was like, the sad part is people think that all South Africans think like how the Zolikans think. And I told them, you're right, that is the sad part. And what's worse is that they are the loudest. They are the loudest. And the ones that are against the movement, they can't say anything because the hooligans are going to suppress them.
We are marching for justice. We are tired of the exploitation that is happening, dehumanizing of other people or othering other people because we call them illegal. And our argument is that the right to dignity is for all people. It's not dependent on the border. It's not dependent on how someone sounds or where they are from. It's a human inherent right. What government is not telling people, or what the politicians are not telling people when they try and scapegoat migrants, is that these issues are an issue that is occurring because of their lack of delivering service to the people, right? It's not happening because a few people cross the border. So that's the truth that we are advocating for.
This demonstration is first and foremost a statement that the few xenophobes that are out there harassing migrants, scapegoating them for all the problems that we are not speaking for.
Like you just heard the last man just said, that the issue here is that all these hooligans and all the xenophobes that are busy marching are not speaking for all of South Africa. But the problem is they are the loudest in South Africa. And we all know how the media works. Whatever will bring eyes, that's what they will push out there. Whatever will get the people speaking, that's what they will push out there. What these citizens are saying is in regards to saying that, oh no, we're not all for that. We love our nationals, we are all black people, and so on and so forth. That's not a good narrative for the media to push. The media wants to make South Africa look divided. The media enjoys portraying Africa in a bad light. It's our job to come against that. It's our job to make sure that is not the message sent out there. Look, man, you look at Paris, you look at America, you look at Greece, and you think that these countries are amazing, these countries are beautiful, these countries have no homelessness, they have no poor people. I promise you, right there at the Eiffel Tower in France, at the bottom of it, there are homeless people living there. But you'll never see that side of it. In America, I have a friend of mine who's been there, and he says he's seen homeless men begging. The difference is the Americans, the police will take the homeless man and get rid of him. And the media will not show that because why they're portraying, they want to portray this beautiful America. Every country has a downside to it. Even Dubai, the country everyone wants to go to. There's a side of Dubai that Dubai will never show. Because why? It does not send off the message that they want the world to know. So why are we as Africans allowing the media to portray Africa as a bad continent, in a bad light? Every time you see commercials of Africa, it's always in the townships, as if Africa doesn't have suburbs. It's always in the rural areas where poverty is thriving and people are really, really struggling. As if that's all Africa is about. We have beautiful places in Africa. We have beautiful suburbs. We have people that own your Bugattis, your Porsche. They live in 24-bedroom mansions and stuff. People are there. Why is Stain City not shown? Why is all those? I can go on and on and on regarding in terms of the messaging of how Africa has been portrayed. But it starts with us as people as well. That's the message you need to push in. Not this message of xenophobic attacks, not this message of Africa hating Africa. Look, perception matters. Perception matters. It really does. People vote based on what they believe. People go to places based on what they believe. Why is it that we all want to go to Dubai? It's because we believe Dubai is a very nice place to go to, based on the pictures we see and based on the news we hear, and so on and so forth. So Africa, we should do the same for our continent. We should do the same for our continent and portray the beauty of Africa and how nice we are to each other, not just foreign nationals. I want to play my last video right now, and this is one of the. It's a very emotional video. This is when we get to see now the true heart of an African man when he's facing another African brother who's doing better than he is.
From Nigeria?
Yes.
You're from Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have papers to be here in South Africa?
Yes, I have my ID.
You have your ID?
Yeah. Yes.
No. How did you get the ID?
I got my ID from Home Affairs.
Man, guys. Sir, where did you get the ID? When was it?
Since 2005.
It was 2005.
2005.
You came to South Africa to do what?
I came to.
What is the main reason for you to come to South Africa?
I came to South Africa because there was a war in Nigeria.
No. You came as a refugee. So what are you doing now for living in South Africa?
Sorry?
What are you doing now for living here in South Africa?
I'm employing the South Africa.
What are you doing? Are you the one who's running the kawash? No, look, sir. Just to be gentle, because I'm an old man. We are here to tell you, according to Immigration Act 2002, Section 13, 15, and 19, you are not allowed to operate any kind of business, not unless you have a minimum investment of 5 million rand and above. It's either you invest to the existing business or to the new one, you register with the CIPC, with Revenue and Home Affairs. You must apply for a business visa. You are not allowed to operate in informal trading such as kawash. So now we're not asking you, you have to close this kawash now. It belongs to South Africans. Are we together?
No, I'm listening to you.
Yes.
But the investment of this car wash is more than 5 million.
No.
For local business, not Nigerian.
You can't invest in such business. It's not for it's an informal trading. The informal is a benefit of the South Africans. No. We're not going to delay because we're going to submit the memorandum. But we're telling you, just close down now.
There's so many issues with this video. So many issues. You can hear that one of them came with an agenda, and not to hear the other person, but the agenda to execute what they want. It's not a question of whether you are legal or illegal in the country. That no longer matters to them. It's a question of you are a foreign national, we don't want you in this country. It's as simple as that. They no longer care about whether you are, and this is the sad part of this whole entire movement. That's why I said this thing moved from wanting to remove illegal immigrants to now removing all foreign nationals. He's an old man indeed. And you can see the man is afraid. He's surrounded by many people. He's probably alone right there. And anything, look, this is South Africa. Anything can literally happen right there. He can literally get hit. And for what? He's well documented. He's got a business that's producing a revenue of more than 5 million rand. So even according to themselves, according to amendments, the man is standing out. He's standing right. He's standing straight. He's upright according to the law. He's hiring South Africans. And then you want them to close the shop. What's going to happen to these people that have jobs? You see, this is what I was saying about how the mentality is off. Their mindset is off. Again, this is not speaking for all South Africans, but this is speaking to all the loud ones, the ones that are making the most noise, because we all know empty tins make the most noise. If he closes this car wash, all the South Africans that are working, what happens to them? They need to go back and start looking for another job, because who's going to run this car wash? Look, handing over a business is not as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't just wake up one morning and then the business is now handed over to someone else. There is a process to it. And even when the new management comes in, is he going to keep the same employees that are there, or is he now going to come and hire his own people? There is a lot that undergoes to the handover of a business or the closing down of a business. These very same people don't even consider their own people. That's what I speak of when I say black on black hate. If truly you are looking for your people, you're looking out for your people, this man is hiring your people, why would you want him to close down? He's here legally. His business is registered legally. He's got all the legal documents. So what is the issue with him? There is no issue except for one. He's a foreigner. It's a very, very emotional subject, this immigration thing. It really, really is. And it's a sad reality that we are currently living with in South Africa. And yes, they are tightening. South Africa is really tightening their laws on immigration. It's very hard now for a foreigner to get documents. It's very hard. And I'm not saying they're wrong in doing so. Look, if someone's in the country illegally, you have the right as a country to deport them back to their country. 100%. But not to even attack those who are legal, that's a problem. And to have the people of the country deciding to deal with matters in their own hand, that too is a problem. It shows that the people of South Africa are frustrated with the government, not even with the people. It's the government they're frustrated with. That's at the beginning I asked this question. Are South Africans angry at foreigners, or are they angry at a government that has failed to manage immigration properly? They are not angry at the foreigners. They are angry at the government failing to regulate the laws of immigration, amongst many other things that the government is failing to do for the South African people. Unemployment is one of them. The employment rate in South Africa is extremely high. I think it's about 30% right now. It's extremely high. So in my personal opinion, South Africa doesn't have a foreigner problem. South Africa has an immigration management problem. And those two are not the same thing. And it's good that President Thabo addressed that issue and spoke about how they're now going to tighten things and fix things in terms of immigration. And that's a good start. But let's also deal with these hooligans that are causing trouble for the country and giving the country a bad reputation towards the rest of the world. That too has to be dealt with. And yes, most of them are now going to court, some of them are being arrested, and so on and so forth. Like I said, the damage has been done. Okay, which is what the government wanted. To cause a stir up and get people crazy and get people leaving. Now that some people have left, look, this is probably not a very good comparison, but I'm gonna make this comparison anyway. The COVID pandemic. That pandemic was meant to regulate the population. The COVID pandemic, I'm probably going to get hated for this. YouTube's probably going to ban this part, but the COVID pandemic was meant to regulate the human population. And we all know who made those statements. But I'm not even going to mention his name, just in case I get a flag from YouTube. But it's the same thing with this whole thing. Them starting this March on March thing is to regulate the amount of illegal, not even illegal, is to regulate the amount of foreign nationals in this country. Now that they've regulated it, the government wants to come in and look as if they're the hero. And they want to say, no, we're going to arrest him, The job is already done, sir. And thank you for platforms like Raw Conversations where we speak the truth as it is. The job has already been done. And now you're just going to come in and act as if, oh no, it was not our intentions. No. We know how these things work. A country has every right to decide who comes in another country. South Africa has a right. You really do have the right. And again, I'm not saying that anyone is welcome to the country. No. There are protocols to everything in this life. That's why in my previous episode, I spoke on a borderless Africa versus a visa-free Africa. And I speak on how I endorse and I second a visa-free Africa over borderless Africa. We still need laws and regulations for the continent of Africa to work, to progress, and to grow. We still need those. So yes, South Africa is right to tighten up their laws. They are. But let's also deal with these much people who are causing havoc and giving the country a bad name. Because the truth of the matter is, South Africa is not a bad country. It's the people, like I said, it's people. We people are the problems. We people are the problems. So yeah, man, that's all I had to say. It's a very emotional subject, like I said. So much can be said, but at the end of the day, what we need is solutions. We don't need people speaking. We can all speak and share our opinions. Trevor Noah said something on his platform last time. I can't remember exactly what he said. But he said something that was extremely true, something along the lines of, yeah, the problem is not The foreign national's problem is the government and just allowing everyone in and out of the country. Something along those lines. But yeah, guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section, eh? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me what you think. I genuinely reply to all my comment section. I respond to all of them. I interact with the people. I'm really glad that I have this platform to speak my mind, share my opinion. You might agree with me, not agree with me. That's the beauty of life, guys. We all have our own opinions and we all are allowed to speak and share on our own opinions. So please, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed this conversation, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Man, hey, this is a real conversation, man. Stay raw, stay strong. This is where the toughest conversations I had. Peace. If you made this far into the episode and you like what you heard, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. YouTube tells me about 76% of yours, in fact 96% of you people watch my videos but then don't subscribe, and that hurts me. So please do subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.